Welcome to another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujane Bland, and today we're talking about the NFL because it's back, baby. Training camp has started, but it's been started with a little bit of major injuries that could affect some teams in a negative way. Starting with Dennis Pitta, feel sorry for the guy. I really do. Great guy. Would have been a great addition for that offense, being that they really don't know who their number one wide receiver is there in Baltimore, and would have been a huge help for Joe Flacco. He's out for the season. Jeremy Maclin out for the season. Percy Harvin signs a big deal, gets hurt, but that's probably the one that I'm really not surprised by. It's not a matter of if that guy gets hurt. It's a matter of when. But overall, been some pretty good stuff going on in camps. There's a lot of things that interest me going across the board. First of all, the Dallas Cowboys are very interesting this year. We all know what the Redskins bring to the table. They have the most players, especially the veteran players, returning to their team. They've added some guys through the draft to help them on defense. So they should be pretty solid and consider the favorites going into the NFC East. But I know a lot of people are laughing about that, but I think the Cowboys are the team that can challenge them, barring that they don't have any negative injuries. Now, there has been a few injuries on that defensive side of the ball, but overall, if they can get it together by establishing a running game, and that offensive line doesn't have to be great, it just needs to be decent to establish holes for the running back to get through, and they can get some balance. I think that's going to bring some help to Tony Romo. We know Dez Bryant was on fire at the end of last year, playing like a man possessed. I think he continues to do that, and getting Miles Austin back and those complementary receivers that they have there, I think they have a pretty good depth at that position. They could really, really, really contend with the Redskins for the division. Another team I like is the Kansas City Chiefs. That team has, to me, always had talent, just not able to put it all together for whatever reasons those are. Quarterback, injuries that have happened to some of their star players at the wrong time. But I think Andy Reid brings a system that complements them. We'll see what Alex Smith can do under that offensive regime, being that he did do an excellent job out there in San Francisco before losing his job to getting hurt. It's going to be very, very interesting for those guys. I like the St. Louis Rams. Jeff Fisher. They have a really tenacious defense. They get after you. They're pretty nasty, and they're type of team that's a win by any means necessary. They're going to take you out if they have to, and they play hard-nosed defense. Will Sam Bradford be able to have an opportunity to utilize these new receivers that they have as far as through the draft, being able to have someone to throw to, a consistent target that's going to be able to help them. Hopefully they can have a decent running game, and they can take that step forward and be able to contend in that division and hopefully make the playoffs. I'm also looking at the Cleveland Browns. They have all the pieces there. At running back, a stout running back with Richardson. I think Brandon Weeden is underrated. I don't think a lot of the things that happened that season had a lot to do with Wheaton. More to do with the fact that the wide receivers just were not running crisp routes. They have some improvements there. They have the defense that can get the job done. They've shown it several times last year. Just didn't have a whole lot of offense to help that defense out. If they can get more offense to give that defense rest, they could look pretty good this season. But there's a lot of great storylines in the NFL, and we're just getting started in training camp, and we're pushing towards the Hall of Fame game, which is coming up here in August. I don't know exactly what date that is. I'm sorry about that. But football's right around the corner. It's right around the corner. The season's about ready to start, and we here at Straight Shooting Sports Talk are super excited, and I know you are too. Well, we thank you for watching our show. If you have anything that you would like to talk about, your team, what's going on in the NFL, injuries, anything that you want to talk about, shoot us an email to straightshootingst@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to discuss that particular topic on our show. As always, if you have something to say about the show or just would like to comment on what we said, we'll be sure to keep the dialogue going with you. Comment at the bottom of our shows. And as always, subscribe to the show. That's how you stay locked in to what's going on and what's popping here at Straight Shooting Sports Talk. Well, again, you've been watching Straight Shooting Sports Talk.